operated for hours through the encrypted dark, watching the rival syndicates completely lose their spark. The digital silence never felt uncomfortable to me. It is the exact frequency of absolute monopoly. An offshore ledger glowing in the cold corporate air. No federal confessions, no evidence anywhere. The global markets rolled completely underneath our command, like a digital script executed perfectly as planned. Some elite operators learn a lethal language of their own that ensures the absolute safety of the throne. Silence can carry a lifetime of terror. The deadliest protocols needed no words, just a secured line and a synchronized strike. A quiet nod across the penthouse dashboard, saying we liquidate their entire infrastructure tonight. No recorded promises, no grand advice, no need to explain the violent price. The deadliest protocols needed no words, because absolute compliance never speaks. Watched the syndicates burn through the digital glass, heard the federal wiretap slowly run out of gas. Sometimes total domination sounds like an erased hard drive, humming in the server room where no competitors survive. You never try to question the exact coordinates of the hit. I never try to hide the absolute ruthlessness of it. We simply orchestrated the market crash together beneath a million encrypted lines and financial weather. Years have changed the cartels we systematically break, but not the silent lethal profit that we constantly make. Amateurs fill every wiretap. The monarch makes the silence absolutely lethal. The deadliest protocols needed no words, just a secured line and a synchronized strike. A quiet nod across the penthouse dashboard, saying we liquidate their entire infrastructure tonight. No recorded promises, no grand advice, no need to explain the violent price. The deadliest protocols needed no words, because absolute compliance never speaks. One day, the agencies will forget the exact names of our rivals, but they will remember the blackout, the frozen accounts, the empty boardrooms, and how it felt to realize they were never in control. No speeches, no fingerprints, just execution, absolute power. The deadliest protocols needed no words, only architects who flawlessly understood that securing the perimeter was far more important than pretending our intentions were ever good. If the underworld asks how I conquered the globe, it wasn't through speeches or a public display. It was the quiet moments shared with operatives who made sure the competition was silently wiped away. The loudest statement you can never make is a completely empty server, connection severed. say time makes a man gentler. They mistake my stillness for mercy. Time didn't make me gentle. It burned away my anger and left behind a flawless machine. I used to wear my fury like a weapon drawn. Thought I had to crush every threat before dawn. Every insult needed a violent reply. Every challenge I had to publicly die. But anger is a liability, loud and blind. It clouds the vision of a tactical mind. Back then I mistook the roar of the crowd for the absolute power I hold right now. The years didn't make me softer, they made me lethal. Time made me surgical. Not loud enough to track, just cold enough to know exactly when to attack. The ambition still operates deep in my soul. It simply evolved into absolute control. Time made me surgical and stripped the emotion from my throne. Watch the old rival slowly disappear. I don't need a weapon when I weaponize the fear. Capital flows while the amateurs flex. I am 3 moves ahead in this corporate hex. I shake their hands while I freeze the accounts. Watch the panic multiply as the leverage mounts. The younger boss wants his name in the streets. I want the monopoly signed in the suites. Patience isn't something you find. It is the ultimate weapon of the mastermind. Time made me surgical. Not loud enough to track, just cold enough to know exactly when to attack. The ambition still operates deep in my soul. It simply evolved into absolute control. Time made me surgical and stripped the emotion from my throne. Amateurs confuse silence with hesitation. They have never seen a monarch who could start a war, choosing instead to dismantle the enemy from the inside out. That is not weakness, that is execution. No anger, no wasted moves, just precision, just elimination. Time made me surgical, like water cutting stone. Without rushing the process, operating perfectly alone. Now I leave fewer fingerprints behind. I carry I tracked the early ledgers before the global reach. Before we engineered the ultimate financial breach, we orchestrated takeovers while the markets bled, ensuring every competitor was financially dead. Cold offshore wires and encrypted midnight screens, operating the most lethal corporate machines. The heat was intense, the federal task force was near, but we systematically built this architecture of fear. The early cartel wars didn't test our resolve, they simply purged the liabilities from the inner circle. We shared the violent years when absolute leverage was the only goal. We didn't carry heavy loads, we took complete financial control. No one promised us a clean corporate slate, no one guaranteed the exact market rate. We shared the violent years, and that is exactly where the monopoly began. Some nights we monitored the wiretaps to secure the base, erasing every informant completely from the space. No one needed perfect answers or a fake alibi, just an operator willing to let the target die. The federal storms that tried to break our global hold only taught us how to leave their assets freezing cold. Every hostile acquisition became a corporate memory. Every liquidation shaped our absolute supremacy. Now the market moves according to our exact design, and one look across the boardroom confirms the bottom line. Absolute power introduced us to endless federal lies. The early bloodbath showed us who could execute the lies. We shared the violent years when absolute leverage was the only goal. We didn't carry heavy loads, we took complete financial control. No one promised us a clean corporate slate, no one guaranteed the exact market rate. We shared the violent years, and that is exactly where the monopoly began. If the Underworld asked me to rebuild the entire grid, I would still choose the exact same assassinations if it meant securing this absolute throne again. Zero liabilities, total leverage, zero mercy, absolute hierarchy. We shared the violent years, now the quiet penthouses feel entirely earned. The federal raids became our ultimate teachers, and the rival syndicates were permanently burned. If the agencies asked what made us untouchable today, it wasn't random fortune that paved the golden way. It was standing shoulder to shoulder through the bloody years that eliminated everyone else. The global monopoly made life luxurious. The early purges made us big ex-predators. Protocol complete. The old guard believed in honor among thieves. I learned early that honor is just a liability. Trust is an illusion. Control is the only reality. The veterans told me to watch who I trust before I turned their empires to dust. I used to think the alliances were real before I learned how the syndicate steals. I played their game, I studied their names, watched their operations go up in flames. The market teaches what the boardroom hides, and I learned how the predator decides. Some lessons come with a financial drain, some arrive wrapped in calculated pain. I learned the hard way, every hostile takeover has a story to tell. I learned the hard way, the penthouse isn't very far from hell. They can lose everything overnight when my algorithms execute the strike. The truth doesn't care what they want to believe. I learned the hard way. Brought in a partner with ambitious eyes, believed she could navigate the corporate lies. She tried to extract the data in the dark, just another trader missing the mark. I didn't spend a year blaming fate and chance. I liquidated her assets in advance. The reflection in the black mirror stays cold, watching another rival being sold. The ledger tells what the PR conceals. Time reveals who controls the wheels. I learned the hard way, every hostile takeover has a story to tell. I learned the hard way, the penthouse isn't very far from hell. They can lose everything overnight when my algorithms execute the strike. The truth doesn't care what they want to believe. I learned the hard way. The most dangerous men I ever knew were the ones who removed their limits like I do. Not with bullets, not with street fights, but by erasing accounts in the dead of night. That is the tuition the empire demands. I learned the hard way, and I don't regret a single move I made. I learned the hard way, operating perfectly inside the shade. The path was ruthless, the nights were cold, but that is exactly how the world is controlled. Now when the rivals ask how I built this reign, I tell them I mastered the pain. The lesson is over, the assets are mine. Perfect silence. The civilians sleep because they trust the system. The watchdogs sleep because they are blind. I stay awake because I own both of them. sleeps beneath the digital haze. Firewalls flicker through the corporate maze. Shell companies drift down offshore lanes, while I quietly extract the final gains. The markets close, the daylight is gone. The politicians have all moved on, but the syndicate never shuts down. I wear the midnight silence like a crown. Every hidden legend knows my name. Every rival burns inside the flame. I am the last man awake tonight, watching the global markets bleed out white. No regulators left to track the flight, just offshore accounts and satellite lights. I am the last man awake tonight, manipulating every wrong and right, while the federal watchdogs dream away. I am the apex predator at play. An encrypted drive inside my coat, blackmail files on the men who vote. Some were bought, some turned to dust. There is nobody left I need to trust. The algorithms move like phantom trains, laundering capital through unseen veins. They say that life is not about control. I say you buy the world and own it whole. The midnight hour asks no questions here. It only breeds the architects of fear. I am the last man awake tonight, watching the global markets bleed out white. No regulators left to track the flight, just offshore accounts and satellite lights. I am the last man awake tonight, manipulating every wrong and right, while the federal watchdogs dream away. I am the apex predator at play. Somewhere out there, a naive fool still believes in the golden rule. He doesn't know the game is rigged. He doesn't know the graves I dig. I am the last man awake tonight. The evidence is gone, the data survives. No witnesses, no grand disguise, just absolute power in the dark. I am the last man awake tonight, untouchable when the stars lose sight. And when the morning finally brings the light, I will disappear into the white. The board resets, the money moves. I am the last man awake. We come from different sectors of the underworld trade, different aliases, different fortunes we made, different federal warrants attached to our names, different methods of manipulating the games. The system introduced us slowly through the offshore wire. One liquidated rival, One coordinated fire, no one asked about my lineage or my family crest. The only thing that mattered was surviving the ultimate test. Blood creates vulnerabilities. Absolute compliance secures the monopoly. Nardo syndicate shed blood. Some are chosen through the corporate war, forging federal raids in the night strike, and set them every global score. They know the architect behind the digital code, not the public mask I wear on the corporate road. Nardo syndicate shed blood. Some simply chose to execute the protocol. Factions violently bleed, executing the exact takeovers that we need. Shared and create the legend before the morning light, when global domination was our only sight. We never counted favors or tracked the person dead. We just finalized the numbers and secured the bet, because the absolute inner circle isn't measured by a name, it is measured by the bodies we remove from the game. Every hostile acquisition became a chapter of our own, securing the perimeter entirely around my phone. You cannot choose your biological beginning, but you can engineer your elite circle. Nardo syndicate shed blood. Some are chosen through the corporate war, forging federal raids in the night strike, setting every global score. They know the architect behind the digital code, not the public mask I wear on the corporate road. Nardo syndicate shed blood. Some simply chose to execute the protocol. If tomorrow the agencies freeze every physical asset I own, believe me, with these elite operators, I will rebuild the entire global market. Before midnight. Not authenticate said love. Some are built by decades of absolute trust. The white servers broken right, turning their empires to dust. The underworld has who orchestrated the fall, or who helped me secure the ultimate monopoly of all. I have a point beyond my biological family trait, to the architects who secured the grid with me. DNA makes you a liability. Lethal loyalty makes you untouchable. the circle is closed. Like heavy armor, executing rivals without a harbor. Never learned the weight of the silent play, always handling the business the messy way. I fought in the streets for the territory lines, ignoring the leverage of corporate designs. Looking back through the encrypted glass, I barely recognized that reckless past. He wasn't weak, he was just blind to the absolute power of a tactical mind. The years didn't take away my edge, they simply digitized the blade. The years changed the way I strike, I don't swing at the shadows in the night. Some victories are sealed with a wire transfer, some wars are won before they ask for an answer. I still crush the rivals when it matters, I still leave the competition in tatters. But the years change the way I strike, now I protect the monopoly, completely out of sight. I manipulate the data, liquidate the assets and deal with them later. Watch the street bosses get caught in the snare while I orchestrate the panic from the billionaire's chair. I watch quiet codes move the global market without ever leaving a trace on the target. Restraint isn't surrender, it is the setup for the kill. Paralyzing the network, imposing my will. Experience doesn't make you peaceful, it makes you utterly surgical. The years change the way I strike, I don't swing at the shadows in the night. Some victories are sealed with a wire transfer, some wars are won before they ask for an answer. I still crush the rivals when it matters, I still leave the competition in tatters. But the years change the way I strike, now I protect the monopoly, completely out of sight. Amateurs fight for respect, cartels fight for territory. I fight for absolute, unchecked control. I don't waste resources trying to defeat an enemy, I simply acquire them. No physical reaction, pure intention. Zero fingerprints, total domination. The years change the way I strike, now I engineer the collapse of their mighty heights. I eliminate what threatens the grand design, instead of wasting bullets on the front line. The ambition still operates cold and deep, while the rest of the underworld is put to sleep. The years change the way I strike, and the empire stands untouched. The most lethal blow I ever delivered was not with my hands, it was a single keystroke. Perfect silence. shadows, with leverage bigger than the cartels knew. Dominating markets without a single trace, knowing exactly what absolute power would do. Years kept pulling the feds in different directions, indictments, wiretaps, and federal art. But the core architects of the syndicate never revealed a single vulnerable part. Some street bosses slowly became informants, some rival factions crumbled out of their prime. But the inner circle stayed like concrete, standing through every orchestrated crime. The agencies track the money, they can never track the omerta. The inner circle never leaves, even when the federal heat is near. They are in every corporate takeover, executing the exact protocol of fear. One encrypted call, one offshore wire, one target wiped from the slate. The inner circle never leaves, because treason dictates a fatal fate. We buried the rivals and celebrated the crash, laundered the billions in untraceable cash, laughed when the task force thought they had a case, while we permanently erased them from the database. You always knew when the market would bleed, before the algorithm ever planted the seed. And somehow silence was the only required code to transport the capital down the digital road. Time tested every offshore account we built, washing away the evidence, liquidating the guilt. The elite men who hold the keys to the vault will never let this global monopoly halt. Real architects don't panic, they remain in the absolute shadows. The inner circle never leaves, even when the federal heat is near. They are in every corporate takeover, executing the exact protocol of fear. One encrypted call, one offshore wire, one target wiped from the slate. The inner circle never leaves, because treason dictates a fatal fate. Maybe we don't meet in the daylight, maybe we don't use open lines, but if I initiate the purge protocol at 2 in the morning, I already know the rival infrastructure is gonna burn. Targets fall, markets crash, loyalty holds, empire expands. The inner circle never leaves, even after decades in the global game. They are in the ledges that would permanently hidden, the absolute terror attached to my name. If one day this dark monopoly faces a threat, then the agencies try to finally breach the door. I won't be relying on a legal defense. I will unleash the inner circle, who have been waiting to orchestrate the final war. Amateurs flip when the pressure drops. My architects bleed the system dry. End of transmission. They ask how I sleep at night, after the things I have done. I tell them the truth. I sleep perfectly. Guilt keeps the weak awake. I am only kept awake by loose ends, and I have none left used to calculate the threats until the dawn, watching the surveillance feeds until the night was gone. Every unsecured account, every whispered name sat at the foot of my bed, a liability in the game. Every choice required leverage, every move was tense, building the firewall, perfecting the defense. Morning always came too soon for the unprepared, but I built an infrastructure where nobody dared. The weak pray for safety in the dark. The monarch simply eliminates the spark. I finally sleep well, not because the underworld became peaceful, but because I completely erased the rebel cartel. The internal wars are over, the hierarchy bows. I finally sleep well because absolute control is the only rule I allow. Ledges are white, silence the rivals before they got hype. Used to keep one eye open, watching the door. Now I own the police, I dictate the floor. Forgive the younger man who left witnesses behind. Now I execute the plan with a surgical mind. Need the mercy at the threshold, lock down the grid. Nobody survives to question what the syndicate did. Security is not something you find, it is a perimeter you enforce. I finally sleep well, not because the underworld became peaceful, but because I completely erased the rebel cartel. The internal wars are over, the hierarchy bows. I finally sleep well because absolute control is the only rule I allow. Fools think absolute power is measured by the bank account, maybe. But true power is closing your eyes, knowing there is no one left breathing who can take your crown. No racing mind, no surviving threats, just the quiet hum of the servers. I finally sleep well after years of orchestrating the global war. I learned the most dangerous man alive is the one who doesn't have to look behind his door. He is the one who commands the morning without a single rival in his way. The one who lies down in the darkness, knowing the empire will obey. I finally sleep well, not because I escaped my enemies, because I buried them. The city sleeps under my watch. The variables are zero, perfect silence. We mapped the networks long before the feds arrived, executing the early purges so the empire could survive. To architects securing global digital veins, never counting the bodies left in the corporate lanes. Every encrypted route became a private domain. Every server knew the exact frequency of our reign. Those networks watched us establish the absolute monopoly, one liquidation at a time, rewriting their entire history. forget, not the ones we systematically wiped clean. The old networks remember our names, even when the rival syndicates were completely erased. They know the absolute terror we engineered before their infrastructure was permanently displaced. Every server still holds a digital echo of the empires we violently claimed. The old networks remember our names because we burn the rest to ashes. The old cartels closed years ago, liquidated by my hand. The offshore accounts were a different sign under my command, but I can still hear the panic in their final corporate call, floating through the encrypted servers right before the fall. They thought they could operate forever with the amateur crew, never knowing those ordinary nights would be the last breath they drew. The global grid never kept their financial photographs, it kept something far more true: the absolute silence of their aftermath. I tore their infrastructure down without a single trace and built the ultimate syndicate directly in their place. Time changes the market, the monarch dictates the collapse. The old networks remember our names, even when the rival syndicates were completely erased. They know the absolute terror we engineered before their infrastructure was permanently displaced. Every server still holds a digital echo of the empires we violently claimed. The old networks remember our names because we burn the rest to ashes. Maybe the underworld doesn't remember the original rivals. Maybe that is exactly the point. I didn't conquer the old roads to leave a legacy. I conquered them to ensure I was the only one left. One encrypted route, one hostile takeover, one absolute reign, total erasure. The old networks remember our names, not because we sought the public federal fame, but because we left a permanent lethal scar on every syndicate that dared to play the game. If a new rival ever tries to initiate a spark, I know exactly which protocol to start. I will follow those digital highways back into the dark and tear their operations entirely apart. Amateurs leave a legacy of memories. I leave a legacy of absolute silence. The network is permanently mine. Bum 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 bum. I used to carry fire in a loaded gun. Thought the conflict was never truly done. Every insult required a public display. Every rival had to be wiped away. I wore my vengeance like a tactical vest, putting every challenge up to the lethal test. But the syndicate lost its efficiency rate when I fought for pride instead of the state. The mirror showed them I'm not growing tired, not from the enemies I systematically fired, but from the wasted energy precision taught me how to dominate. I outgrew the amateur war like a weapon that serves its purpose no more. It carried the empire through the dark years, but I couldn't rule inside the cycle of fear. The fire still burns deep under my skin. It just turned into the discipline to win. I outgrew the amateur war, not my ruthless intent. Dum 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 dum. So much slower, watch the empire grow. Let the loudmouth rivals put on their show. Every argument costs a percentage of net. I don't play for the petty, I play for the dead. Silence is the weapon that they never suspect. I dismantle the infrastructure with total neglect. My pride doesn't volunteer for the street level brawl. I wait for the peak, then orchestrate the fall. The younger boss wanted his name in the press. I just want the ledges and the absolute success. Growing older didn't cool the ambition. It taught me the lethality of silence. I outgrew the amateur war like a weapon that serves its purpose no more. It carried the empire through the dark years, but I couldn't rule inside the cycle of fears. The fire still burns deep under my skin. It just turned into the discipline to win. I outgrew the amateur war, not my ruthless intent. Revenge always asked for more resources. Control asked for restraint. I thought leaving the violence behind would make me smaller. Instead, it made the empire untouchable. Less reaction, more acquisition. Less pride, more domination. Up. I outgrew the amateur war, one quiet move at a time. Not by forgetting the enemies I crossed, but by ensuring their extinction was strictly mine. Now when I hear my younger voice calling me back, I simply analyze the market and adjust the attack. I think that version of me for surviving the fray, then keep driving the system toward the absolute monopoly. He always knew I'd create. The world didn't change, I just optimized the strategy. And that changed everything. Perfect silence. Transaction tracked their weakness, even when the rivals hid their name. Every market shift met me honestly, never asking how I rigged the game. The legend never cared for excuses, didn't reward their panic or their pride. It simply stretched across the global grid, waiting for my assets to collide. I've watched empires disappear behind me, watched liquidations arrive with dawn. The higher I elevated the syndicate, the faster the competitors were gone. The system never promised mercy, only absolute results. The legend never lied. Every margin became a mirror. the architect I was, and making the monopoly clearer. It never judged my hostile takeovers, never celebrated the cartel's name. The legend never lied, it simply proved I own the entire game. I've navigated federal storms with no names, parked the offshore accounts, manipulated the frame, shared boardroom tables with the desperate and weak, who left the infrastructure vulnerable to the leak. No audit could measure the moves that I made, no analyst could explain how the underground paid. The hardest corporate raids I ever designed became the blueprint for leaving the assets behind. The system taught patience without speaking a word, discipline in the shadows where the violence is blurred. Every decimal point became a lethal demand, written in the code only I understand. You cannot cheat the algorithm, you either own it or it destroys you. The legend never lied. Every margin became a mirror, showing me the architect I was, and making the monopoly clearer. It never judged my hostile takeovers, never celebrated the cartel's name. The legend never lied, it simply proved I own the entire game. Looking back, the weak blame the market. They blamed luck, they blamed the federal raid. Then one day, the data showed me the only direction you can truly trust is total ownership. One more acquisition, one more market crash, one more erase trace. Total control. The legend never lied, not once through all these corporate years. It told me power requires absolute distance, and control requires eliminating their fears. Now I don't fear another federal probe or another rival trying to fight, because every system that tested my reign was swallowed completely into the night. The legend never lied, it only revealed the truth, one liquidation at a time. Amateurs search for luck, I found absolute power in the margins. Perfect silence. Softly on the penthouse glass while the offshore wire went through. I poured a drink and took my seat, watched the city grid blur away. The rain never asks about the collateral, it just washes the tracks away. Allies compromise and rivals fold, midnight storm does what it's told. The rain makes a better accomplice than the fixers I have known. It doesn't question the execution when I am operating obscures without a word, and somehow in the falling drops, the sirens are never heard. Tables with the cartel chiefs, who only boasted of their wealth, and I have watched their empires dissolve when I liquidated them by stealth. But the rain against the rooftop never tries to change my mind, never asked me where the bodies are or the assets I left behind. It asked for nothing in return. It only watches the city burn. The rain makes a better accomplice than the fixers I have known. It doesn't question the execution when I am operating alone. The rain makes a better accomplice. It obscures without a word, and somehow in the falling drops, the sirens are never heard. Tonight the surveillance grid feels distant, lost behind a curtain of gray, and I am grateful, because the storm understands something the feds don't. Silence isn't empty. It is the sound of absolute control. The rain makes a better accomplice when the neon starts to fade, when the competitors walk in uninvited and are swallowed by the shade. The rain makes a better accomplice than the syndicates I used to chase, because every drop that hits the glass erases the final trace. The rain keeps falling, the evidence is gone. Perfect silence. I used to think elimination was just an event, a frozen account, a message I sent, a wiped out drive, a sealed vault door, and then you move on, nothing more. But the underground has a different design. I absorb the assets of those who resign, a rival's network, a laundering scheme, a shadow incorporated into my dream. The weak think they leave the past behind. I ensure their legacy is strictly mine. Every departure left something behind, a ledger, a sector, a piece of their mind. Some left their capital, some left their pride, some left the leverage I carry inside. Every departure left something behind, like offshore accounts that only I find. They never walk away the same when the syndicate fully erases their name. Left a lesson so clear, a reason to operate strictly on fear. A former partner left an empty seat at a private table high above the street and every empire I thought I would break is just another territory I reshaped. The rivals fall, the monopolies change, but my absolute power remains. Every departure left something behind, a ledger, a sector, a piece of their mind. Some left their capital, some left their pride, some left the leverage I carry inside. Every departure left something behind, like offshore accounts that only I find. They never walk away the same when the syndicate fully erases their name. I used to count the assets I gained, the boardrooms crossed, the rivals drained. Then one night, looking at the global grid, I realized exactly what my algorithms did. They never truly left the game. The capital flows under my name, in the hostile moves I made, and the territories I take. Every departure left something behind, a piece of their empire woven into mine. The years may blur the corporate dates, but not the wealth the predator dictates. Every departure left something behind, and that is the price of the ultimate win. They lose the power, the money, the dream, and leave it all to the machine. The assets merge, the rivals fade. Perfect silence. The amateurs dressed in borrowed gold, talking much louder than the assets they hold, trying to buy a reputation in the street that absolute leverage would quickly defeat. Then I look at the empire I quietly built. No flashy distractions, no blood strictly spilt. I never tell the public exactly who I am. The offshore accounts execute the plan. I monitor more than I ever interrupt. Pay attention when the global markets erupt. Some bosses wear diamonds to shine in the light. I simply own the grid and operate at night. Arrogance catches the federal eyes. Absolute control ensures the demise. Dominance is quiet. It doesn't need another public stage. It walks in without an introduction, and and traps the competition in a cage. It executes the protocol when the surveillance network is blind. Dominance is quiet because absolute power leaves the noise behind. I let the cartels buy the exotic cars and the chains, while I quietly acquire the supply and the domains. I've learned the most lethal conversations happen off the grid, liquidating rival syndicates for the highest bid. There is a lethality in staying out of the press, a massive strength in operating with zero stress. Some street bosses spend their lives begging to be seen. I spend mine orchestrating the global machine, a calm handshake, an encrypted goodbye before their entire infrastructure starts to die. Execution arrives quietly, but the monopoly stays permanently. Dominance is quiet. It doesn't need another public stage. It walks in without an introduction and traps the competition in a cage. It executes the protocol when the surveillance network is blind. Dominance is quiet because absolute power leaves the noise behind. You don't recognize the true monarch by the car or the tailored suit. You recognize him by the sheer absence of his rivals, by the absolute silence of the competition. Zero ego, pure leverage. Zero image, total monopoly. Dominance is quiet, like a system blackout before the dawn, like an architect who knows his exact net worth, while the pawns are systematically withdrawn. It doesn't chase the cartel's cheap approval. It doesn't compete with street level pride, because the most lethal kind of confidence is the kind that watches the empire slide. Dominance is quiet, and the underworld belongs to me. You can buy street attention, you can rent a cartel, but absolute dominance is taken. Perfect silence. The federal agents always demanded a trace. The rivals begged for mercy in my private space. Everyone wanted certainty when the market fell, while I was orchestrating their financial hell. And the heavy rain began to fall, washing away the evidence, bypassing the firewall. It never asked me why the syndicate must bleed. It only executed the exact erasure I need. Absolute power never explains itself. It just initiates the purge. The rain never asked questions. It never wanted me to justify the strike. It washed the fingerprints from the global grid and let the empires collapse into the night. No negotiations, no federal delays, no survivors left to navigate the killer away, liquidating entire cartels before the break of day. The storm didn't promise them a single chance to heal it, only finalized the absolute unquestioned deal. Funny how the underworld suddenly grows so weak when the offshore wire transfers refuse to let them speak. Sometimes the greatest asset in this corporate game is a downpour that washes away the name. I don't need a partner, I don't need a friend, I just need the weather to help me orchestrate their end. Domination doesn't need a confession. The rain never asked questions. It never wanted me to justify the strike. It watched the fingerprints from the global grid and let the empires collapse into the night. No negotiations, no federal delays, no survivors left to navigate the maze. The rain never asked questions, it simply erased until the board was cleared. The agencies think justice comes from finding the right evidence. I know absolute control comes from watching that evidence dissolve into the street, leaving absolutely nothing behind. Servers wiped, accounts drained, traces gone. Move forward. The rain never asked questions, yet somehow knew exactly where to cut the cord, to sever all their lifelines in the dark and sweep their broken pieces completely off the board. Now whenever federal storms begin to gather near, I simply launch the protocol and watch them disappear. Because I remember every single night the blackout carried all my secrets out of sight. The rain never asked questions, and that is exactly why I weaponized it. The task force demanded a trail. The storm only offered them a washed out road. Operation concluded. People think silence means nothing hurts. Sometimes silence just means you still have work to do. Before the sun, another shift, another mile, a tired back beneath a clean shirt, another practiced steady smile. The bills don't wait for better days, promises don't pay themselves, so we tighten up our boots again and carry what life handed us. Not because we're made of steel, not because we never bend, because someone is counting on us to show up once again. Strength isn't always loud. Sometimes it's simply showing up. Men like us don't complain. We breathe deep and carry on. Not because the weight is light, but because the road is long. The rain is what remains after the applause fades. Men like us don't complain, not because we never feel, because every word we choose to keep protects something that's real. We'll ask for help when it's needed, we'll stand together when we can. Men like us don't complain, but we never walk away from the people we love. This isn't about hiding pain, it's about remembering that responsibility still deserves an answer. Some days, that answer is simply keep going. One more mile, one more sunrise, one more promise kept. Men like us don't complain, we don't measure life by ease, we measure it by honest work, by quiet nights and inner peace. If tomorrow brings another storm, we'll meet it like we always have, not with anger, not with fear, but with steady hands and an unbroken word. Men like us don't complain, we just keep going. Not every hero has a loud story. Some simply keep their promises. I've slept in roadside motels, under signs that barely glowed, watched 100 different sunrises from 100 different roads. Some men belong to cities, some men belong to names, but every place I've ever loved eventually changed. So I stopped looking for a place to stay and learned to love the road instead. I belong to the miles, to the white lines running through the night, to the engines humming low and slow beneath the pale moonlight. I belong to the miles, to the roads that never ask me why. The farther I go, the more I know I belong to the miles. The rearview mirror holds old stories, faces fading with the years. Some I miss, some I don't, but all of them brought me here. I've crossed deserts full of silence, I've crossed rivers made of rain, and every mile took something from me and left something in its place. The road doesn't promise anything except another dawn. I belong to the miles, to the lonely highways and neon signs, to to truck stop coffee at 3 a.m. and thoughts that sharpen with time. I belong to the miles, to every wrong turn and every detour, because somewhere between where I was and where I am, I found myself. A man once asked me, "Where's home?" I looked out the window at the endless dark ahead and smiled. Wherever the road decides to teach me next, I belong to the mountains, not because I'm running away, but because the road became a part of me somewhere along the way. I belong to the miles, to the freedom hidden in the unknown. And if I keep driving until the end, at least I'll know I followed my own road. The steady rhythm of tires on asphalt, a blues guitar drifting through the radio, headlights disappearing into the darkness. They see me sitting by the window, one chair, one drink, one fading light, and they assume the silence hurts me, that I'm just passing time tonight. They don't hear the conversation between the shadows and my mind, the old regrets, the quiet lessons, the things daylight leaves behind. Some people fear the empty space. I finally learned to embrace it. I'm not lonely, just listening to the sound of my soul settling into the echoes of roads I've traveled, places I've been. I'm not lonely, just listening to the truth beneath the noise. Sometimes the loudest answers come when the whole world loses its voice. The city hums beyond the glass like a distant radio station, but I've heard enough of everybody else. Tonight I'm keeping my own company. The rain taps softly on the rooftop, like an old friend dropping by. No demands, no expectations, just a reason to sit a while. Funny how peace arrived one day, disguised as an empty room. I'm not lonely, just listening to memories fading into grace, to the younger man I used to be, still wandering somewhere in this place. I'm not lonely, just listening to the heartbeat beneath the scars, often lives in the quiet between the stars. There was a time I filled every silence with music, whiskey, someone new. Anything to avoid hearing myself. Now the silence doesn't frighten me, because after all these years I finally like the man who's speaking. I'm not lonely, just listening to the life that carried me this far, to every loss that taught me wisdom, to every wound that left a mark. I'm not lonely, just listening while the midnight settles in. And for the first time in a long time, I don't need saving, I just need this moment. Slow guitar bends beneath the rain. Neon reflections on wet pavement. The city breathing in the distance. We engineered the empire from the shadows, with leverage bigger than the cartels knew. Dominating markets without a single trace, knowing exactly what absolute power would do. Years kept pulling the feds in different directions, indictments, wiretaps, and federal art. But the core architects of the syndicate never revealed a single vulnerable part. Some street bosses slowly became informants, some rival factions crumbled out of their prime. But the inner circle stayed like concrete, standing through every orchestrated crime. The agencies track the money, they can never track the omerta. The inner circle never leaves, even when the federal heat is near. They are in every corporate takeover, executing the exact protocol of fear. One encrypted call, one offshore wire, one target wiped from the slate. The inner circle never leaves, because treason dictates a fatal fate. We buried the rivals and celebrated the crash, laundered the billions in untraceable cash, laughed when the task force thought they had a case, while we permanently erased them from the database. You always knew when the market would bleed, before the algorithm ever planted the seed. And somehow silence was the only required code to transport the capital down the digital road. Time tested every offshore account we built, washing away the evidence, liquidating the guilt. The elite men who hold the keys to the vault will never let this global monopoly halt. Real architects don't panic, they remain in the absolute shadows. The inner circle never leaves, even when the federal heat is near. They are in every corporate takeover, executing the exact protocol of fear. One encrypted call, one offshore wire, one target wiped from the slate. The inner circle never leaves, because treason dictates a fatal fate. Maybe we don't meet in the daylight. Maybe we don't use open lines. But if I initiate the purge protocol at 2 in the morning, I already know the rival infrastructure is gonna burn. Targets fall, markets crash, loyalty holds, empire expands. The inner circle never leaves, even after decades in the global game. They are in the ledges that we permanently hid, and the absolute terror attached to my name. If one day this dark monopoly faces a threat and the agencies try to finally breach the door, I won't be relying on a legal defense. I will unleash the inner circle, who have been waiting to orchestrate the final war. Amateurs flip when the pressure drops. My architects bleed the system dry. End of transmission. Hmm.